Commence primary ignition.
I'm just not the hero type, clearly.
What a piece of junk.
Enterprise, this is the captain.
I got a bad feeling about this.
It's all part of the plan.
Engage.
Welcome to Podcast 2 for 1. I am your host, Donovan Thompson, with my co-host,
Daniel Wingfield.
and today is episode 49 of Podcast 2 for 1. Daniel, we are almost to the beloved episode 50.
That's right. I think that will establish us as a OG podcast. I don't know. 50 episodes, that feels like a big deal. 50 episodes.
It kind of
you know what I
does.
mean?
It does.
It feels like a rank up. Like if we were playing Call of Duty multiplayer, getting to rank 50 usually unlocks like the badass sniper rifle.
That's
you know what I
true.
mean? So maybe we should buy ourselves sniper rifles.
We should. Just
I think
like
that's-
some branded logos
It's
on
happening. Yeah. Or yeah, we should sell 241 sniper rifles.
there. Yeah,
That'd
that'd
be
be cool.
That'd be great.
Now, today we're talking
Look out for that.
the New Mutants, but before we get into that, now, this is episode 49 of the podcast, but we have more episodes on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
We have
That's true.
We have 241's Let's Play.
Yeah.
now.
First one ever, Battletoads.
Yeah, and we have 241 Comic Cast,
Yeah.
and we have
True.
some other cool things on the pipeline. We keep saying maybe very soon.
I mean, if you'd pay us more, they'd have faster. I'm just saying there is a direct line of expediency here if
Yeah.
you want it.
My point is, there's more content on the YouTube channel, so make sure that you go to that, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way, you're up to date on all future content, and of course, follow us on the social media things. That way, you know you're
Yeah.
supporting us, and we can keep doing these reviews and all these cool things.
Right. Yeah. Especially check out that Let's Play. That was a lot of fun.
It was.
And, I revealed my signature move, my flow state. And man,
It was.
I kicked some ass when I activated it.
It was a lot of
And
flow stating happened.
flow state on, bitches.
There you go.
Yeah.
That should be on a T-shirt. Like
I
if we were to do merchandise.
Oh, yeah.
Flow state.
Someday. Flow state activate. Yes. That'll be it.
There you go. Anyway, today we're talking the New Mutants, and yes, it's a baby cast. We don't have all day for this. We have a lot of content coming out, a lot of movies to review, and a lot of game stuff to talk about in the coming weeks. So the New Mutants. Now, Daniel, I
Yeah.
know you haven't seen this movie, but I braved the pandemic, and I went into a theater fully masked,
Yeah.
and I watched this.
Were you the only one in there?
It was me and Katie and two other people, like 3 or 4 rows down at like
Nice.
a 400-person auditorium.
Nice.
And so it was probably pretty safe. And
Probably.
more, and there
I
was no.
guess I'll be the one to know.
Yeah, sure. And so we watched this movie, and this movie was shot in 2017.
So weird.
Yeah, and so it was delayed multiple times because of
Many reasons.
They wanted to do reshoots initially because the studio wasn't happy with it. Then
Which
of
was
course-
old Fox, which was
Yes.
Fox at the time.
Yes,
Yeah.
and then there was the acquisition
Right.
by Disney, which kind of put things on a holding pattern.
Right.
And he ended up getting to restore his original cut.
Right.
And then the pandemic hit because it was supposed to come out early spring this year.
Right.
And so now they were like, you know what? And they're contractually obligated to release the movie in theaters before they inevitably put it on Disney Plus or something like that. And which they actually may not, because it is rated R, I believe. And
Is there
for good
nothing
reason.
R on Disney Plus at the moment?
I don't think so. I mean, they just put the Wolverine on there, which is kind of
That's totally R.
there's an unrated cut and there's a PG-13 cut.
Oh.
Yeah, but my point is the PG-13 cut is it's kind of pretty graphic. in a
Well,
lot of
yeah. I
ways.
mean, you can do so many things.
even
A lot of the
Endgame-
blood is mud kind of shit.
Even Endgame, half of Tony Stark's face is like melted off in Endgame. That's PG-13.
It's not that gory.
It's not that gory, but still.
I would say Thanos choking Loki with his bare hands is more graphic.
Well, I mean, or
that
Thor
totally thing.
cutting off his head. That's kind of
Yeah.
It's getting closer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, it deserved its PG-13 rating.
Yeah, sure.
It earned it.
So we had the New Mutants, and this is about it does take place in the Foxmen timeline. I'm not quite sure
why?
It's part of the universe.
So I guess they were just like, so that's why Disney didn't care about this movie.
No, they don't. Of course, no. And,
It all makes sense now. It
Yeah.
all makes sense.
And
That's why they let it come out.
oh yeah,
They're
of
like,
course.
yeah, we don't give a shit. It's about
Yeah.
it's a part of a dead universe.
Yeah, and so they kind of always build this as like a horror film, and with like
Yeah,
kind of like how Logan
100% horror trailers.
Yeah, how Logan was like this noir western, serious kind of more thing. Deadpool is this meta, comedic aspect, and you have the main X-Men movies, and of course other studios doing other things. Fox was kind of trying to give people creative freedom, and so they were like, "Hey, here's the New Mutants."
Well, to an extent, until they didn't like it, and they wanted to change it all.
To an extent.
Yeah.
So, well, there's, you know what? I can't honestly. Here's where my review's going. I can't disagree with them. So, anyway,
Fox, you were right.
You're right.
You never should have let go of your IPs.
You were right this time.
Yeah.
So, it's billed as a horror film. There are horror elements. Basically, what happens is there's 4 to 5 group of kids who are in this mental health. I won't say asylum, but it's an institute. And
looks like an asylum.
It does. It looks awful. I don't know why you'd want to be there. And there's a doctor there. And yes, there's a doctor there. So in this gigantic mansion, there's one doctor and 4 or 5 mutants that are of various, they seem to be close of age. And so the whole thing is, they got, attitude, they got, there's disagreements, they have powers that could potentially hurt people, and the doctor is trying to make them control it, trying to get them mentally healthy. That way they won't hurt other people with their powers, all these other kind of things. And of course, there's more than meets the eye. People start being haunted by things in this asylum and everything else. And boy, oh boy,
where does it go wrong? Where does the train leave the tracks?
Part of it is honestly, I think just the filmmaking of it in general. There is some decent performances sometimes. I would say half and half.
Is Maze Williams any good?
She's okay. She's much better in Game of Thrones, but I think it's just that character suits her better.
Yeah.
And she was not bad, but I don't know. There was just an issue. So I think on top of that, the characters are kind of interesting. You got the hot looking guy who, he's the stud of the group. Sure. You have the guy who's like the country Southern guy he's a kid from Stranger Things. He's like the older brother.
Yeah.
He's the Southern guy, and he's kind of, a loner. And then you have the Russian girl who she's just the bitch of the group. And then you have Maisie Williams' character, who's like this also outlier, who's sweet, but she might be dangerous. And then you have, of course, the main character who is she's new to the whole group, and she's, of course, the best person. She's the nicest, and she's trying to figure out our power and all this other kind of stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Like, it just doesn't make no fucking sense. I mean, like, the whole thing. Everything from little things like, why is there one doctor in this asylum? Yeah. Why do the kids not question that? The kids can't leave the asylum. Like, there's a force field outside of it. And they're like, you can't leave until you're mentally healthy. And granted, the whole movie is them starting to question these things. But it's like, what took you so long to do that? Right. And it's also like, how did these people get here? How long have they been here a piece?
There's no explanation of any of that?
Not really. Yeah. The only explanation we really get is how the main girl gets there. Okay. And
so what's the twist? The
whole thing, spoilers, is that they start being haunted, and it turns out the main girl, her superpower is that she can manifest your fears into reality. And so she can't control
So she's
it.
the one making all the hauntings.
Yes, and she doesn't know it. Yeah. And the big thing is, of course, the doctor is not good, of course, and the doctor is following orders from, I think, Essex company or corporation, which is, I believe, don't get me wrong, Mr. Sinister in the X-Men lore. And he was also heavily hinted at in Logan. He was hinted at in X-Men.
He was hinted at in Logan?
I believe so. There's Essex corporation doing things. And there's also things in X-Men, not Apocalypse, but X-Men. No, Apocalypse, not Dark Phoenix, X-Men Apocalypse. There was also talk, I think, about Essex Corporation. So there's a lot of story things, just the pacing and the plotting, the shot composition. It doesn't know whether it's a horror film or not a horror film. There was one moment I kind of jumped, actually. But other than that, it's not scary at all.
Is it the moment with the bear from the trailer?
No, it's like one of those guys with the sucker teeth face things. They look pretty creepy, actually. Cool. But it's just not good. And it's, there's one moment I got chills in it just because it was cool, and I was like, that's a cool moment. And the powers are okay. Yeah. There's just nothing.
Is there a good team up moment at the end?
Yeah, at the end
they fight their way out.
Well, they're fighting the bear because she ends up making this manifestation of this bear, and the bear ends up attacking all of them.
Yeah, so the bear's very comic lore.
It is comic lore. I don't know the comic side of it, but in the movie side of it,
I think it's like a demon bear that in the comics she ends up riding on and controlling. I think, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it's something that she manifests.
Isn't
or
it
something.
Maze Williams'?
No, it's
thing?
the
Is the main girl?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it's her. And basically, her dad told her a story of, don't be scared of this demon bear.
Right.
And he put a little small bear on her as a necklace. And
Right,
like, here's
yeah,
how
yeah.
small the necklace is, and this is how small it really is in here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
overcome it. And of course, there's a demon bear at the end, and they're all fighting it and everything else.
Right.
And the coolest part is the Russian girl, who I can't really think of her name at the moment. It's Anna Taylor. And so she plays. She has she manifests a soul sword, and she can teleport.
Soul swords are cool.
It is actually that's
Usually.
actually the coolest thing. She makes this. Her arm becomes like armor, and she has a sword. It's like laser, and she's apparently the sister of
Cool.
Colossus. So that's why she's Russian.
Ah.
And she even manifests this little. Oh yeah, his name's Lockheed from the comics. He's like a little purple dragon companion, and it doesn't explain what he is. She carries around a stuffed animal the whole movie, but at the very end, she can make a real one. I don't know. It don't explain it. I don't know. My whole point is the movies. It's all over the place. It kind of felt like, oh wow, this should have been on TV, or it felt like a TV cinematography and all those other kind of things. And I thought, man, this would have been an interesting movie, but it faltered, and it does kind of suck that this was like the last Foxman movie. Of course, Dark Phoenix also wasn't just amazing at all.
I heard it was horrible.
Yeah, it's not as bad as people says it is, but
Is it worse or better than Apocalypse?
I don't know. It's like
Equally bad.
it's just different. It's not as it's maybe as good and bad in different ways. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah. Like 6 out of 10 movie, 5 out of 10 movie.
New Mutants.
No. Apocalypse and
6 out of 10. Probably.
Yeah.
Now this movie is probably like a 4 or 5 out of 10.
okay.
And
bad,
because again, at the end of it, I mean, Katie was like restless the whole movie. I could tell in the first 10 minutes she was
bored.
She was like bored, and I was like, she doesn't want to be here. And then at the end of it, I was like, thank you for watching that with me. And she was like, whoa. It's like, and so, it's funny because she can watch anything and she's interested, but that was really not getting her attention.
That's the big, that's now going to be like our biggest, benchmark. Is Katie willing to watch it?
Yeah.
Well, she watches anything.
Katie's like up here because she's like, yeah, Batman Begins,
Oh wait, no, that shouldn't be a statement.
Because I don't know her, her gauge of movies,
True.
but on this one particularly, she wasn't a fan, and I wasn't either. Now, I still may buy it just to support it, just so I can have it.
Of course you will.
Because
support a dead part of a studio.
Yeah, because I'm a collector at heart.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it'll be really, really cheap.
Yes.
But
that's true.
But I was like, man, this movie, there's a lot to be desired, and it was my first movie back since the pandemic, so it was the first movie back
that's a bad taste.
Since Bloodshot.
Yeah.
But
man, that's kind of bookended with some interesting movies.
Yeah, but it's interesting. I think the movie would have done much better if they had done like a day in, day out theater and VOD release like they have with Mulan.
I don't know why they didn't. It just seems so.
I think
must have been contracts.
I think it has to be down to contracts. But anyway, it's out in theaters if you want to check it out. I don't recommend braving this sickness upon the world to go watch it. There's other movies that are out there now to watch. If you do, go do it, and we'll get to those later in the coming days. I think that's it.
Yeah.
It was
don't go watch New Mutants.
Yeah, I mean we
do not recommend.
It's probably it has to be. It's the worst X-Men movie out of all of them. It's not even a competition. It's just because there's nothing like it doesn't have even like the worst X-Men movies has James McAvoy, Michael Fassbender, and even the worst Wolverine movie, Origins, has Hugh Jackman in it and Ryan Reynolds in it.
Fair.
And Liev Schreiber.
I don't have any movies that I'm thinking of that. The rest of them, I haven't seen any of the newer ones. I did not like New Mutants or no.
Apocalypse.
Sorry, just the reboot of the X-Men I wasn't a big fan of, except for a couple of movies.
First Class is like probably the best one, probably the best X-Men movie.
No.
Not counting Logan and Deadpool.
No.
Come on, just X-Men.
No.
What's the best X-Men movie?
X2, I think.
Really?
I think
everyone says that.
X-Men 2 X2 is actually the characters as they were originally meant to be. It's like the original comic characters and manifestations. I mean, Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier You can't beat that. That's the perfect casting. Hugh Jackman, perfect casting. Even Storm. I know there's some debate on how she's used necessarily, but Halle Berry's a great Storm. I mean, like, Jean Grey's great. Fucking Cyclops is great. I mean, there's so much good stuff going on. And then, of course, motherfucking King of Shakespeare. I'm blanking on his name. Ian McKellen. Ian fucking McKellen.
Yeah, but
that's the one that they like. Oh wait, no, hold on. That may be Apocalypse.
The
third one, but it's a man. That casting, the story, and the effects don't hold up like they.
I mean,
used
they're pretty
to,
decent. I mean, people traditionally think as X-Men 2 is the best. It by far used to be one of the best superhero sequels of all time, up there with Spider-Man 2 and X, Y, and Z. I don't know. Honestly, as always, as a kid, I've always been like, that was kind of boring to me. Like, I've always seen
the TV show,
the X-Men X2. It's called actually officially
X2.
X2 X-Men 2 X-Men United is the full title.
Shut up.
It is. No, it is. I'm just saying it's stupid. I'm saying it's stupid.
It is stupid.
But I always kind of gravitated more towards X-Men. Of course, X-Men 3. There's things I like about it. X-Men 3 is not
that movie.
X-Men 3.
Yeah, I enjoy it.
I enjoy it. It's not a great movie.
No, it gets really melodramatic towards the end.
Yeah, but I think First Class, when I watched that, it came out the same, like, within 2 weeks of Green Lantern, and I worked at the movie theater, and I was like, what movie are you watching? They go, oh, we're seeing X-Men. I was like, I was really trying to push Green Lantern on people because I wanted to succeed because I just got into it at the time, and I was like, you should watch Green Lantern. And they were like, no, it's dumb. And I was like, I'm watching X-Men. And I was just like, you guys are stupid. And so they'd go watch it, and finally I went and watched it, and I was like, holy shit. This might be the best X-Men movie. It takes place in the 60s during the JFK assassination. It has James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender, amazing actors.
It's like, what if all the X-Men characters were whiny young adults who had stupid love triangles? I just pitched you X-Men First Class.
It's not a bad. It's Matthew Vaughn. It's like the best. I'm telling you.
I don't
need to go back and watch.
I don't enjoy it. I hate the young kid like bantery stuff.
You got Jennifer Lawrence.
It feels like they watched Hunger Games and said, let's Hunger Gamesify X-Men.
Well, no, I mean that's how X-Men,
including Jennifer Lawrence.
And the X-Men originally was like a younger group of people. They weren't all adults. I mean, they were.
But Xavier always was.
Yeah, but he's still an adult in X-Men. I mean,
it's not the pure form of the characters, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. You say Days of Future Past doesn't do anything for you?
Oh, I liked it. That's the one I like the most.
See, that's the same director as X2. That was the last. He did X-Men 1, X2, and then he went and did Days of Future Past.
Yeah. Wait, is that Bryan Singer?
Yeah, Bryan Singer.
The rapist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's your favorite one thing.
It's a good note to end on.
And he ended up doing X-Men Apocalypse afterwards.
Yeah, so I can hate him.
Yeah,
I can still think he's a trash guy.
Yeah, exactly.
And director because he made the really crappy ones.
And then of course Simon Kinberg, the writer of most of the X-Men movies, he came in and directed Dark Phoenix.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's some of the X-Men for you there. New Mutants, watch it if you're a fan, but other than that, it's not really worth your time. There's way better stuff out there.
Much better, yeah.
Much better things like that. Daniel, how can our listeners write into us?
They can write into us at bit.ly/241mail. There they can fill out a small form, give us their opinion, argue with us, agree with us, give us something else to talk about. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. It's yours. That's yours to do it. I give it to you. It's bequeathed.
There you go.
I think it only happens when you're dead, but I don't know.
Maybe they'll love us so much they'll die and we'll bequeath.
Well, I think when you die, you bequeath.
Oh,
things.
sorry.
But maybe I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
Words don't matter.
What are words?
Word definitions don't matter. Just say what you feel.
And of course, as always, go to the YouTube channel and subscribe to that channel. And if you can't make it to our Bitly, go over to our channel and leave a comment below. And give us your thoughts on New Mutants if you've seen it. And what is your favorite X-Men movie? Like, I'm curious to see what you think about First Class and X-Men 2.
I would be interested in what's better, the First Class era of X-Men movies or the Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Hugh Jackman, amazing all-star cast that have won more Oscars combined than any of those other people ever have won.
Well, I mean, technically,
Oscars. So
Ian McKellen and all those other guys are in also the First Class era because they're in Days of Future Past. Fun facts for you.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
And of course, we also did episode kind of like a Babycast retro review on Logan in the past. So of course, more X-Men. You go check out that video as well. Daniel, we did it.
We did it. We reviewed a bad movie.
We did. We reviewed a bad movie. We're back in the movie theater. Hopefully, we'll have some cool stuff around the corner.
Oh yeah, you got a hot one coming up next. Is that
Yeah.
Tenet? Is Tenet next?
I think the next one is. I think we're doing Bill and Ted Face the Music.
Okay, well
Yeah.
get ready for that one, you
Yeah.
bitches.
There you go. Anyway, my name is Donovan Thompson.
I'm Daniel Wingfield.
And we have spoken.
Pew.